Right, big news in the blast, and that is that tickets go on sale today. If you want any of those tickets, contact your local county cricket club. Now, the first game is June the 9th, which might be behind closed doors, but on the 21st, it's Surrey versus Essex. Now, what a game that would be to get crowds back in. I'm joined by Ben Duckett and Bumble. Start with you, Bumble. That'd be great news to see crowds back in the blast, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and what a game. If we do get crowds in at the Oval, that'll be a guaranteed sellout. You get 25,000 in every time. Surrey versus Essex. It's a derby game. Brilliant, the blast. When did it start? 2003?
Yeah, I mean, were you even born then, Ben? I mean,
Yeah, I was born there. I think I was about 9.
what are your memories? I mean, you're a 3 times winner of it. What are your sort of recent memories of the blast? You obviously played pretty well in the final last year.
Yeah, obviously, I think the main thing last year was playing cricket for us. It was a real shame not having fans in. And to win it was obviously amazing, but it was so different being there on that big stage, with no one watching. I think the best thing about finals day is the atmosphere. You guys as the commentators will see that. So, I think looking forward to this summer. We know we're going to play cricket, which is great. But it would be amazing to get some fans in and be able to watch us.
Go back to that 2003 Bumble, and I remember when the blast first came about T20 cricket. We had Andrew Simons, who you think would be perfect for it. He just thought it was a holiday. He captained the game and just said, let's get this farce over and done with. But you, as a commentator, you worked it out straight away. You knew exactly that this was going to be something special and here to stay. Is that right?
Yeah, that's about it. And Charles Colville as well, he was sort of lead at that time, and we got it straight away. And you got that reaction from a number of players. What are we doing here? It's just hit and giggle. And if you take it right back, when Gillette Cup came in the 60s, it was exactly the same. They're trying to revitalise the game, the governing bodies, and players themselves were saying, well, this is rubbish, it's ridiculous. But then you talk about T20 now, it's taken over the world. You look at the IPL and all the other independent leagues that are cropping up. It's the thing that players want to play. And nevertheless, we've got Test cricket going on right now, and you define your career as a Test match cricketer. But the T20 is a great earner, and that's really important for cricketers. And the other thing, which is more important than that, it gets the crowd on the edge of the seats. These games are sellout all around the world.
You've gone from Northants to Notts. So you've gone from you've played for 2 very good sides in T20 cricket. Bumble's right there, isn't he? That the actual event, the crowds, everything that goes with it, it's so much fun to play in, Ben.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously the overseas that you get in that as well. But exactly that, you get so many tight games. The crowds are always good. Obviously, I've gone from at Northants Wantage Road where the atmosphere was great. It was only 4,000. It was a very different kind of atmosphere to what we had at Trent Bridge a couple of years ago. We were selling it out there, I think 14,000 or something, and kind of a bit more like an international game. But yeah, it's an amazing format, and the players that come over and play in it, you're playing against some of the best in the world.
What about some of the heartache you had 2 years ago in the semi-final, batting, trying to get your side home, to then go and do it in the final last year? Even though T20's not quite as intense as Test match cricket and 4-day cricket, that must emotionally be pretty special.
Yeah, and obviously that really hurt me a couple of years ago, and they're the kind of moments that I really want to put my hand up and be involved in. So I think to then have the opportunity a year later to kind of put that right and be there at the end was great, because something like that might have taken 3 or 4 years to get that opportunity again in another side. So to kind of put that wrong right, for the Notts fans and stuff, that was my first year, and to miss, to not get one run off one ball, that really hurt me for a few months. So to kind of turn that around 12 months later, it was a big thing for me.
See, Bumble, I always look back, and I was trying to think last night about my favourite moments for the blast, and nearly all of them pretty much involve you. You've been ever present in it. But you yourself, what's some of your favourite memories of the blast?
What you get from T20 cricket, from the blast, is a response from the players. That's the most pleasing thing for me. It's a release for the players. Where you go back to the MCC coaching manual where it's elbow up and full face at the back, throw that away. Inhibitions have gone. These lads turn up and said, I can hit it further than that. I don't care how far your boundary is and who stood on it. I'm going to hit it further than that. And then bowlers have had to come up with, it was the death knell of spin bowling, don't forget. 2003, they said there'll be no spinners playing this game. The first person you put on the sheet now is a spinner.
Ben, what about some of the characters? Well, you play with one of them. I remember seeing a really good interview. I mean, it was pretty punchy, but he's a great character and he made his name a bit in the Blast, was David Willey. What was he like to play with?
Yeah, obviously I saw him kind of when he was breaking through before his England stuff at Northants. And yeah, I mean, I think it was called Wild Man. I mean, I think the reason why he did so well is he didn't really fear being, there on the big stage. And, if I'm honest, and he won't mind me saying this, he was just a bit of a clubby growing up. He probably admit he still is now a clubby. But I think with him, I mean, he did most of his damage with the bat for us at Northants. He was so destructive at the top of the order, and those guys in the power play, they've only got to plink it over the infield. But yeah, Dave was very good to play with at Northants.
What about Freddies' comeback, Bumble? You were on commentary then. He's a good mate of yours.
Well, that was so emotional, and I get a bit welled up now. For him to come back and knowing what he'd gone through and his frustrations and his injuries, to give it one last hurrah. I think he was more nervous that day. And the Lancashire players was a wonderful response from them, from the crowd, the spectators. He got back in the old routine. He got Ian Bell out, didn't he, with his first ball? And then you think, I got Ian Bell out. Well, second slip, third. No, long on, right on the boundary. And then he hits a couple of sixes. It was great theatre and perfect for T20, perfect for finals day, that this absolute superstar who's done all sorts of things, but I don't think he'd ever been as nervous as he was on that day.
Well, speaking of nerves, I mean, I was with him when he then had retired again for the second time. And you and he, this is my favourite memory, is when you did Johnny Cash and Neil Diamond, and he did Elvis. And that day when he then ended up going, you tell the story.
Well, he were all up for it. It was supposed to be a contest. Well, it isn't a contest. One, he can't sing, and two, he don't know the words, as we saw. And he got really sorry about it. Then he started saying, I need a proper Elvis suit. He said, I'm not just turning up. It's a proper fitted Elvis suit. So they got him that. And, of course, he falls over the speaker. Fantastic. Absolutely brilliant. It sort of made the day. It made the song. But, I've said times, a tribute, one night only. Neil Diamond, one night only, in front of 25,000. I must have had a drink before I went on there. In front of 25,000. First up singing Johnny Cash, Folsom Prison Blues, and then turning up with Sweet Caroline. And I'm big mates with the Rolling Stones publicity manager. I said, I've got a great idea, Bernie. Great idea. I said, me and Freddie will come up, and then right behind us, proper musicians, the Stones. Bernie says, that's a fantastic idea, Edgbaston. We'll start at £1 million. I said, I'll give you a call. I'll give you a call. Yeah, I never have done.
But what are your memories of it? Go back when you were a kid, because you're very much a product of T20 cricket. Bumble and myself, as players, I know we're different eras and generations, but we came through. It was about Test cricket, as Bumble says, the MCC coaching manual, all of that. What's been the biggest bonus about T20 cricket in England?
Yeah, I mean, I always remember as a kid sitting on a Saturday and watching the whole day in front of the TV, and it was kind of so different, wasn't it? But I was probably, I think, 10-ish or around there when it really started kicking in. And I think it's all the innovative shots and stuff everyone plays now. I think certainly for myself, if the scoop wasn't invented or something like that, I wouldn't be able to hit a boundary in T20 cricket. So, I think now all these kids are going to be growing up, and from the age of 6, 7, they'll be reverse sweeping, they'll be scooping, doing all these fancy shots and stuff. So I think you see even in Test cricket now and stuff in these tough, pitches, and Root was a good example of sweeping. He was switch hitting the other day. I don't think, I don't think I saw him do that 4 years ago in India. So even someone who's played 100 Tests now is developing his game so much from white ball cricket. So yeah, I think it's only going to strengthen the game.
But I'm trying to think. You've called, I think, pretty much every single final, with the exception of last year, for obvious reasons. You couldn't get to the ground because of shielding and all that type of stuff. What's been some of your favourite final? I mean, but Kent and we played Middlesex when Harry Potter was there watching, and David Milan did the overthrows. What's been your favourite final?
Do you know, I love every one of them. It's a very demanding day for commentary and certainly for production. How they get through it, I'll never know. But every final has got something. The best bits are when you look right and you see, what's it called, a Raybank stand. I mean, it's rocking in there. Blokes turning up dressed as a piano and a steamroller. And they've come on the bus. They get on the bus and a tutu Edgbaston and he's dressed up as a duck. I just visualise all that sort of stuff that's gone on to get there. Davy Willey's hat-trick. You mentioned Davy Willey's hat-trick. Getting down to the last over and you need 12. You're really on the edge of the seat. And children, boys and girls, you can tell they want to be a part of this. It's great fun, wonderful to play. And I've mentioned the part of the players. But like Ben says, the spectators, they'll make the day. It's a real day out, is that? From start to finish. They've not a clue at the end of the day who's won and who's lost. It's a great day. So I wouldn't have a real favourite because I think they've all got something. But I do like it when the underdog wins, when everybody's talking about the big shots and then the underdog just flies through. There you are, I've just spoilt your day.
But that's how you must have felt when you were playing for Northants, Ben. You had that tag, really, of being the underdog. No one tipped you up. No one fancied you guys. But you guys have you guys who used to play had a very good record in it. But did you feel that you were like the David going to fight the Goliaths?
Well, no, if I'm honest, we knew we were a very good team, but we actually had that underdog card for, I think, about 4 years now, or 5 years. And I think, obviously, we won 2 and came runners-up once. So our thanks go to you guys commentating, because you always called us the underdogs before the game or on TV, so there was no expectation. So we could just rock up and play and have a bit of fun and try and beat the best side on the day, or be that guy to beat Surrey on the final, or whoever else we beat. So I certainly don't think by the last couple of years we were underdogs there. But we were very happy to take the name of that, because then there was no pressure on us.
Ben Bumble, I'll start with you, Ben. Give us a prediction for this year. Who's going to win it? Can't say your own team.
Well, I mean, I was going to say I'd love to go back to back. I'm not sure people have done that. So if I can't say Notts, then I don't know who I'm going to say. I'll say I'll just say my old club, Northants, then, and go easy. But I'm backing Notts to go 2-2.
Go on, Bumble.
Well, you're saying I can't say Lancs. I mean, Lancs will win it. But if I can't say Lancs, I'm going to go for one of my great mates. He's just got the job again. Dominic Corky is at Derby. Come on, Corky, pull your finger out. You've got to win something sometime.
Bumble, I haven't seen you for a while. I see you obviously on the cricket show when we do that. How are you? Have you had the jab, more importantly?
Yeah, I'm 3 weeks into my first jab. I had the Pfizer. Just up the road at the Cricket and Rugby Club, and it went terrifically well. But since then, I've done a fair amount of chitting all over the window ledge. I've been chitting like an absolute good one. And of course, the trick there is that you plant them, your potatoes this is, you plant them about 4 inches deep into your first layer of compost, and then just put another layer of compost on top until your green shoots come through, and then you keep building up your layers of compost, and eventually in a big tub, if you've got your fertiliser right, you get a magnificent crop of potatoes throughout the summer. So chitting is the way to go. I've been doing a lot of chitting.
Right. Well, that is just fantastic news. That is something I don't think I've ever done. But just remember, more importantly, you get your tickets for the Blast today. Go to your local, nearly got that right, local county cricket club. That's where you can get them from. Let's hope, fingers crossed, crowds can come back. Boys, thank you very much.